Hey everyone, welcome back to Pop Pop Fizzle. This is Heidi back again with another episode of Deep Space Nine. I am so excited to make this final run of season two because every episode is going to be an episode for YouTube. And this one in particular was one that was rescued from the Do Not Watch pile by a few of you. You definitely wanted me to watch this for YouTube, so here I am watching it. So I'm very excited. This is season two, episode 18, Profit and Loss, and I'm going to assume it has something to do with Quark because, rules of profit. So the last one that was up on YouTube was called Whispers, and that was an episode, that was an O'Brien episode, and it was a great episode. It kept me guessing the whole time, and I did not expect the outcome. I won't spoil it. Obviously, it's like 20 something years old. It shouldn't be a spoiler, but just in case, if you want to see my reaction to that, just go back and watch the last one that was up for YouTube. The next three were episode 15, Paradise, and that was an episode about people who got lost on a planet because they were led by somebody who didn't believe in all the technology, and so she kind of sabotaged all their instruments and made them stay there. It would have been a fine idea, except that she did not actually consult anyone on this. So people died, and it was completely her fault. And oddly, even after they figured out how they could leave the planet and rejoin the rest of humanity, since they'd only been like removed from it for about 10 years, they decided to stay. So that was a weird sort of resolution that I wasn't expecting. But that was an episode that I could see maybe did not need to be, watched for the larger arcs for season two of Deep Space Nine. The next one after that was Shadow Play, and that was interesting because that was a Dax episode. There was Odo and Dax on that one, and they were looking into a planet where people were disappearing. We did find out why they were disappearing, and they were able to correct the problem. But of course, I was left wondering, if that problem arises again, is that going to be something that is a problem for that community? But I don't know if we're going to follow up with that. And then the next one after that was episode 17, Playing God. And that was another Dax-ish episode where we were watching her with an initiate, Trill, who was learning about what it's like to be joined. But at the same time, we got caught up in the idea of a pocket universe that was just growing, a primordial universe, and then it started showing life signs, and I'm like, well, first of all, we picked up this ooze like bug on a windshield, and it was like, that's a weird way to pick up a universe, and then it kept expanding like a universe can, and then they just went like, they like manually drove it back through the wormhole and dropped it back off in the Gamma Quadrant, and I'm just like, if the universe, that little pocket universe, was a problem on the station, it would probably be a problem to, I don't know, everyone in the Gamma Quadrant. But what do I know about science or anything like that? I guess maybe they ran through the scenarios and that was the best one. I don't know. Again, I can sort of see that that was not necessarily an episode that needed to be watched, but for all three of those, I really did enjoy a lot of the character actions and interactions. So, we've said it a lot of times, a clunky plot can be overlooked with good character moments. And so those were all pretty good as far as like really expanding our knowledge of the characters, their interactions with each other. We got to see more of Dax and, where she kind of came from when she was just Jadzia, before she became Jadzia Dax. So that was interesting there. Again, the science of some of that stuff was just, odd, but that's okay. It's okay. This was 1993, 94. We probably haven't learned that much since then. So all of this stuff is possible. So that's okay. So this, like I said, this is an episode that was rescued from the Do Not Watch pile by several of you out there. It's called Profit and Loss, season 2, episode 18, and I'm just excited to get into it. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit play.
Definitely Cardassian. and in trouble. Its engines are completely disabled.
I think we're all fine, considering. I'm Professor Natima Lang. We were caught in a meteor storm. Do you think you'll be able to repair our ship? We'd like to be on our way as soon as possible. We know having Cardassians on a Bajoran station may cause trouble. That's the last thing we want.
In the meantime, you're welcome to stay here.
My dear doctor, Yuri had to choose between protecting his brother and protecting the state. He chose the state, as would I every time.
Wow.
I suppose that's one way of looking at it. But then again, before you can be loyal to another, you must be loyal to yourself.
I heard an interesting rumor today.
Only one? I started at least 12.
Rumor has it that you've managed to get your hands on a small cloaking device. You try to sell it, and I'll see to it that you spend the next 50 years digging trenches in a penal colony.
Look out. What are we doing?
Natima!
Quark!
I knew
Whoa,
you'd come.
flap.
I told you never to speak to me again.
It's the happiest day of my life. I'd love to sit in on one of your classes. What do you teach?
Political ethics.
Her teachings will change the future of Cardassia.
That's enough for Cullen.
How well does this woman know you? Just enough to dislike you, or well enough to really hate you?
But if you have to know, I was the love of her life.
I don't think so.
I haven't heard a rule of acquisition in 7 years, and I don't want to hear one now.
Oh, almost gave your hand there, Garak.
I didn't think there were any Cardassians left on the station.
He's the only one.
What do we do now?
There's something wrong.
We have to leave as soon as possible. Goodbye, Quark. Thanks for the drink.
Wow.
The damage is more extensive than I thought.
They weren't in any meteor swarm. They were hit by Cardassian disruptors.
Whoa.
I should have told them the truth in the first place.
Being shot at by your own people goes a little beyond politics.
We take our politics very seriously.
Apparently.
There are some who believe that the future of Cardassia should not remain in the hands of the military. Raquelin and Hogue are two of the most important leaders of our movement.
They've already tried to kill us once. They're sure to try again.
We saw another Cardassian aboard the station, in the bar.
Garrick. Mr. Garrick is a bit of a mystery to us.
Mr. Quark. This is a surprise. Just one businessman trying to help out another. I figured we have to stick together.
Really?
Personally, I find this style a bit too radical. Oh, you'd be surprised how detrimental a poor choice of fashion can be. An affront to the eyes. Certain people might even think it's objectionable.
Wow.
Might I offer you some free advice?
No such thing.
I've been in this business a long time, and I know there's nothing worse than following the wrong trend. Perhaps you should mention this to your lady friend. I'd hate to see her fall victim to fashion.
I know you're in trouble. I want to help you.
I thought you were a man of honor.
Can't you even say it?
I can't even think it.
And that month we spent together was the best time of our lives, and you know it.
I believed in you, Quark. But you were using me.
But I love you.
I don't love you.
We have a Cardassian warship approaching. Fast.
Of course.
Shields up.
Lock on bases and photon torpedoes. Prepare to fire if necessary.
Commander!
Hello, Garak.
The Central Command merely wants to make sure they have your undivided attention.
Well, they have it.
The Central Command would hate to see the Federation pulled into such an insignificant and purely internal affair. And if they were dangerous, would the Central Command entrust the situation to me, a simple tailor?
A simple tailor.
Which only confirms what I have suspected all along. You, Mr. Garrick, are no simple tailor.
Oh, really, Commander? That's another discussion entirely. The ultimate decision is, of course, yours. I am simply relaying a message.
Wait.
You say you can help us get away?
I take it you know what a, cloaking device is? Well, I have one. It's not in the best of condition, but it'll work for about 15 minutes, long enough to get you away from here. You have to convince Natima to stay here.
I mean, I'm not staying.
I won't let you go.
But I need that device. Give it to me.
Then go ahead and shoot.
There you go.
You shot me.
Well,
Yes.
I didn't mean to. It was an accident.
Sir.
I made sure it was on the first setting.
How considerate of you.
Oh, Quark. I'm sorry.
Really?
I love you, Quark. I've always loved you, even when I hated you. I'm not the same person I was 7 years ago. The movement is my life now.
You've done enough for the movement, and let us have the happiness we deserve.
Yes, Quark. I'll stay.
I apologize for the interruption, but I'm afraid, madam, that you are under arrest.
But Cardassia has offered to release half a dozen Bajoran prisoners in exchange for you. But the provisional government has ordered you all to be turned over. But in the end, this is a Bajoran station, and I have to abide by their decision, no matter how much I disagree with it.
Tehran?
It's Gul Tehran now.
I didn't realize the situation on Cardassia had gotten so desperate.
I'm glad to see that you're adjusting so poorly to exile.
Am I to be rewarded for informing the Central Command?
But only after you see to it that they don't leave this station alive.
Oh.
Kill them, and all you do is create martyrs. And how do you propose to arrange this unfortunate incident?
I'm sure you'll think of something. Unless, of course, you intend to spend the rest of your life as a tailor.
Odo, you have to let Natima and her students go. Do it for me. I never told you this, Odo, but I consider you as dear to me as my brother. I'm begging you. I don't care why you do it. Pick any reason you want, but please let Natima and the others go.
I'll free them, Quark, but only in the name of justice.
Thank you.
Good luck.
I've installed the cloaking device in the central engine core. You can activate it from the bridge as soon as the mooring clamps are released.
Oh no.
Please, make your goodbyes brief.
Oh, what's the rush?
Oh.
You've betrayed us.
Don't. I'd hate to ruin such a nice suit.
Do you think killing us will change anything?
Madam, I am not here to debate you.
Garrick, if you harm these people, I'll see to it that Commander Sisko prosecutes you.
Quark, things would have gone much easier if you'd taken my advice and not gotten involved with these people. Personally, I rather like you, Quark.
You mean you're gonna shoot me too?
Before I became a tailor, I lived by a simple motto. Never let sentiment get in the way of your work. I'm afraid I must carry out the verdict of the Central Command.
But you admit that they're wrong. Why don't you stand up for what you believe in?
More to the point. What do you believe in, Garrick? I suspected that 2 years living among the Bajorans would make you soft. I see that I was right.
You've never been right about anything.
I will take over from here.
Why? So you can take the credit and to make sure I remain in disgrace?
I can't believe that you were once considered clever. Go back to your sewing kit, Taylor.
Ooh. Disintegration.
Some people should never be promoted. Well, don't just stand there. Your ship is waiting.
I'm gonna see to it that every Ferengi on the station shops at your store.
Ah,
All three of you?
That alone makes it all worthwhile.
I have to say goodbye to you. I'm going with them.
But we had a deal.
Did we?
I can't stay here. Maybe one day I can come back and we'll be together again, but not until my work is done. I'll make it worth the wait. I need to know that you're here, safe. That way a part of me will always be safe too. I love you, Quark. I always will.
I love you too. You have to tell me, why'd you do it? Shoot Tehran.
Why did you let Professor Lang go?
I have no choice. I love her.
And I love Cardassia, which is why I had to do what I did.
All right. Wow. What a great episode. Okay, to those of you who wanted me to rescue this from the pile, thank you. This was a fantastic episode. So well written, so well tied together. Even the conversation that Garrick and Bashir had in the beginning completely comes full circle at the end here with Garrick's reasoning for what he did. A little perturbed that Quark seems to be getting quite a bit of play. As gross as he has a couple of ladies pining for him, and a couple of other female friends, and it's just kind of weird, but that's okay. If you're into that sort of thing, I guess Ferengis are your thing, so that's fine. This is just a fantastic episode. Really interesting to see more things happening with Cardassia as far as the inroads there to what looks like maybe the start of civil war, or at least some rebellion within its own ranks. So I'm going to be keeping my eyes and ears open for that for sure. Really enjoyed the learning a little bit more about Garak. And like I said, it's weird to see Quark in a romantic relationship, but towards the end, I did believe it a little bit more. So I guess it was helpful that the professor, reciprocated, because it was so weird when he was insisting that she loved him and she said that she didn't, because it's like, well, maybe she doesn't. But when she said she did, I'm like, okay, well, if that's where she is with that, then that's fine. But I can understand, especially in the context of Garrick's fable to Bashir earlier in the story, even if one has to choose, you have to choose the greater good. And even if it doesn't go with the commands that you're given, you have to prove your loyalty to where it needs to be. Although I do believe that Bashir's words kind of came back to Garrick a little bit about being true to himself. He loves Cardassia. He's loyal to it, and he's more interested in seeing better things happen for it. So I really enjoyed that about him. And it was great to see more of him. Yay, Garrick. I can see why he's a fan favorite, and so I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. I didn't know that the phasers could disintegrate. That's wild. Like, what are they going to say about that guy being missing? I guess they could say that the fugitives killed him on the way out, but also, what is Cisco and Odo? What are they going to say about those three escaping? And will the Bajorans be turned over? Like, what are the outcomes of all of this? We saw a bit of a happy-ish ending where they got to escape, and declarations of love and Garrick being true to himself. But like the greater picture, what is happening? What are going to be the consequences and ramifications of this? And so I'm kind of like, it's kind of like the ending of that other episode where we found out that Kira actually killed that guy, and we haven't seen any consequences of that. And I get that sometimes these episodes can't always pick up those threads, but it feels like there are things here that need to be picked up. So I'm hoping that they do that later in the season, and I'll just kind of keep my eyes and ears open for it. I am going to be filming another episode tonight, so I'm just really chomping at the bit to get to it. So I want to say thank you to everyone who has joined me on this ride. I realize that, again, I say this every few episodes, that I am really, really late to this series, but I'm really enjoying it, and I'm so glad that there are still fans out there that enjoy it, and you guys have been so kind to include your comments, and all of you that have liked and subscribed because you're wanting to watch this. I'm so happy about that. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and get started on the next one in just a moment. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.